I'm Simon Day, Farms Director at Worth Farms on the Holbeach Marsh in South Lincolnshire. We're farming potatoes, wheat, sugar beet, maize, vining peas. So we've been supplying potatoes to Marks and Spencers for over 30 years now. Roughly about 10% of our potato crop would go into Marks and Spencers, and that would be Maris Piper and then Melody as a white potato. So yeah, it's been really good to be involved with the Farming with Nature programme on our farm. It's been able to bring the sort of industry experts with FERA, the Game and Wildlife Conservancy Trust, onto the farm to look at what we've got in the soils, do the trials with us so we can get a better understanding of what's going on under our feet, and then hopefully share that learning with the wider industry to benefit potato growers around the country. So historically on the marsh, we are 1/3 winter wheat and 2/3 spring cropping. So everything that would have been spring cropped originally would have been ploughed in the autumn. So it would have been subsoiled, cultivated and then ploughed pre-Christmas. Whereas now what we're doing is we're moving to a non-inversion tillage. So everything will be run through with the sumo trio after the wheat harvest. We'll sumo trio it, probably put a cover crop on most of that land as well, spray that off before Christmas, and then we'll go straight in the spring, either direct with the drill, the cultivators, or potato planters, depending on the soil type and what crop we're establishing. So we have a 1.5 megawatt anaerobic digester on site here at Holbeach, which generates 90% of the electricity for the main site. And then the byproduct of that is the digestate. So that's all pasteurised, so it's PAS 110 accredited. And we're applying that onto the winter wheat crops in the spring as a fertiliser, organic fertiliser. So that's giving us nitrogen, phosphate and potash, plus lots of other sort of trace elements. So we've been able to reduce our artificial fertiliser input because we're using digestate in the rotation. So we're out looking in a field of clover cover crop today. We've got Ian Robertson from Sustainable Soil Management, who's been advising us on the cover crops, and Will Sharp, who's our potato and leek agronomist at Worth Farms. So this was a winter wheat field last year, harvested in August, early August. We went through the sumo trio and then drilled about 6 kilos a hectare of clover cover crop off the back of the sumo, and then left it to grow since.
But you look under that, it doesn't look an awful lot. But that whole root there's full up the roots, isn't it? Look at it. Of course, bit of pinks on it, big nodules.
Yeah. So yeah, not a lot. Well, there's a good cover on top, isn't there? But it's not.
But this is what we were wanting though, isn't it? We didn't want this.
No.
We didn't want to manage it, so we've gone low. It's nothing like as impressive, but that's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's doing the job underground.
That's your fatter tap. These are more your hairies, your crimsons. So they're doing similar, and again you've got pretty massive pinks on there.
Yeah. And how much nitrogen will that?
Something like this will do you, I'd imagine, 60 to 100 kilos of nitrogen.
Will it?
Mm-hmm. On what you've got here.
All right.
If you turn that into bagged N, you're probably near 140, 150 kilos of bagged N from efficiency factor.
Yeah.
But you'll be surprised how much this will fix us. Now, I would, if being not a betting man, I'd put 60 kilos on this.
So if this was going potatoes next year, you'll put 60 kilos less
on.
N on.
Yeah, but we would keep it longer into the year potentially.
Yes.
Because we're going to
let them use this up early on.
Yeah. Digging in a field of leeks that had a cover crop in last year, Maxi Rooter, and the cover crop put a lot of organic matter in, so the cultivations we did were less. And you can see here under that one spadeful I'm putting out 2 good worms. And the soil structure, or the surface, you can see it's very open and it just crumbles apart. So the leeks are able to root really easily through it, and the cover crop that was there last year has put more organic matter in to hold that soil apart. So it's kind of joined up farming really. So we had some Phacelia, some fodder radish, some clovers to fix some nitrogen, Facilia again to give it cover, above ground cover and different root architecture. We also had some linseed for deep rooting. So we're trying to get, the key part with a cover crop is to get as much diversity as possible into the soil. Not just for the cover above ground, but different root architecture. And each different species will push a different root exudate chemical into the soil that will trigger different biology. And we're trying to diversify as much as we can with the soil profile.
The shift in management approach at AH Worth to reduce cultivations and inputs and boost soil microbiology follows an industry shift towards reducing the carbon footprint of our food. The ultimate aim of the business is to sequester more carbon than is released from farming operations, and the key is building soil organic matter. In order to assess the baseline levels of organic matter in the soil, Simon is using a tool called TerraMap.
At Worth, we're using the TerraMap system to scan soils. This is a relatively new system that measures isotopes that alludes to the different soil types, as in for sand, silt, clay fractions. With that, it then tells us where to go and analyse those for different elements like calcium, soil bulk density, organic matter, active carbons, etc. And then we can repeat that in 2, 3, 4, 5 years' time after doing different management strategies, and then remeasure those elements to show what differences we're making to our soils and the productivity of them. One of the elements, for example, that we measure on the back of the TerraMap is organic matter, and you can see this field here. It looks like it only ranges from 2 to 2.5. It doesn't seem a big difference. However, when you look at a dynamic scale to make it more interactive, you can see that actually the scale drops from 2.5 at the top here down to 2 down here, and you can see the distinct difference in the top end of the field. Now 2 to 2.5 may not sound a lot, but for organic matter, that's a significant change in the amount of organic matter that is in the soil, and that will take a significant change in management strategies to build my 2 down here up to my 2.5 to level the field off.
Next time we will hear more about how the soil management changes at AH Worth have impacted on soil microbiology. But we will leave you with a clip from the 2021 National Potato Awards, with AH Worth winning the Environment Award for their work.